Hey, Betty. Hello, Betty. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Retirement Days, Comfort Foods and more. Hey, y'all ask, y'all ask, y'all ask me where he's been. There he is. Y'all saw my buddy. I hope you're doing well, Betty. I hope everybody's doing well. I see a few of you guys are stopping by or scrolling by. I appreciate you. Either way, whether you're stopping by for a few seconds, a few minutes, any portion of the live, I appreciate you. If you catch the replay, I appreciate you. Hope you guys are having a marvelous Monday, a magical Monday, a money-making Monday. A Monday that is filled with happiness and joy. I hope you've had a great day. For those of you who went to work and this was your first day back after the weekend, all right? Technically, yesterday was the first day of the week. Monday is the first day of the work week, all right? I always hang out here listening. Thank you, Betty. You do, and I appreciate you for your support. I so appreciate you. I think, if I'm not you know what? I got off work a little while ago, but I think while I was at work, I saw a video. I'm not sure if you dropped it today, because lately, you know how sometimes every now and again, YouTube will, it'll drop a video as if it was just released. And when you actually click on it, it's been like hours to a couple of days ago. So I don't know if you just dropped it today or not, but I'm going to go back and watch it, of course. Hey, Stefan. Where you been? Where you been? Hey, Stefan. Happy Monday to you. Happy Monday. Thank you guys for the thumbs up. I see a few other people watching. Thumbs up if you don't mind. If you do mind, that's okay. Okay? We don't fuss and fight about that over here. Okay? We don't. Because what people don't understand is the more you fuss at people about a thumbs up or a like, the more you run them off. Right? The more you run them off. And sometimes people just want to hang out. YouTube, I did not own the rights to that music in case it came through, okay? Sometimes people just want to hang out. They don't want you asking them over and over to thumbs it up. You know? It's good if they do. But guess what? It's good that you're just here. I appreciate you being here, okay? So whether you thumbs it up or not, it's helpful. I would appreciate it. But if you don't, we're not going to fall out about that. You're watching for a few seconds, a few minutes, or however long you're watching. And I appreciate you. I hope you've been doing well, Stefan. Betty, I hope your work week started out great. How's baby girl, Stefan? What sport is she in now, right now? Is it volleyball? Volleyball? Yes, 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 yes. Power, okay? Power up, power up, power up. So for you guys who have kids who play sports, it's football season, right? So we got junior varsity, we have varsity, we got college football, we have the NFL is in full effect. The Eagles took their first loss. She's in band. Okay, I thought she played sports too. Okay. Well, listen, let me tell you, band is like a sport, okay? Band is like a sport. Band will keep you in shape. All right? Band will keep you in shape. Because if you have band directors like we used to have, they will keep you in shape. Volleyball, okay. She in band and volleyball. That's what I thought. I know I saw, I'm more into college, so I know I saw some college teams playing volleyball over the past few days. So I'm assuming that the high school kids are as well. She's tired. Volleyball and band. Let me tell you, volleyball will definitely keep you in shape, but band will too. Some people get confused, get it mixed up about band. Band is like a sport. Band is like a sport. You don't just go out there and learn your formations and your routines. You've got to practice. You know, it's one thing to learn them, and once you get them down, you got to practice over and over and over and over and over. Because you can get it down pat. Well, you can get it down, but you got to get it down pat. And then to do that, daily practice. Daily practice. Listen, band practices every day just like football and basketball, volleyball, soccer. They practice every day. And sometimes they have you jogging, running. Band makes you, depending on the band director, depending on the school, they will have you out there jogging, doing push-ups, sit-ups, and don't tell them that you don't know your music, and they feel like you've had a sufficient enough time to learn that music. The band directors will make you work. If you're cutting up in band, they'll make you run laps. If you cut up and if you don't know your music in the time that they feel like you should know your music, they will have you out there and you'll feel like you're an athlete, okay? They'll have you out there running laps, doing sit-ups, push-ups, okay? Standing in the corner if they can. Standing on one leg for 30 minutes, and then they might let you swap and do the other leg for 30 minutes. The band directors don't play. They want you to learn that music. And honestly, the only thing that they have to do if you don't know your music is to like make you work out. And most people get in the band, well, not most people, I say a lot of people get in the band thinking, oh, we're just gonna get in here, we're gonna learn our music, we're gonna learn some dances, we're gonna learn our routines. Yeah, you're gonna do all of that. But if you don't do it in the time allotted that the band director or the drum majors even think that you should have it down, they're gonna work you. They are going to work you. Yeah, just picked her up from practice. Okay, I got you. So it is volleyball season. Like I said, I watched, I can't remember who it was. It was South Carolina and somebody in the college ranks. South Carolina and, oh my gosh, I cannot remember who they played. And I didn't watch all of it. But, was it Georgia? I watched a good bit of it. And I think the other team won. I think South Carolina was kind of playing from behind. They finally came back and was in the lead. And I think the other team won. I was kind of in and out. So I might have it wrong. But I like to watch, I like to, even when I'm not like just sitting down watching it, I like to have on some type of college sports in my house. One of the TVs has to be on something, okay? One of the TVs has to be on something. Because I just like watching the young players play. You know, they go from high school to college, and then from college to whatever pro in NFL, NBA, WNBA, or NWBA, however they want to say it. And then they have these other leagues that are not like major leagues, but kind of minor. You know, they have I can't remember the name of it, but the women have a football league. And then they have like minor football leagues, kind of like minor baseball leagues now. You sleep with the TV on or off? I got to have it on. I have it on. People say that that's not good though. They say that we should sleep with the TV off. And I'm like, I have to feel like I don't know. I guess it's kind of like the thing like about, I think it helps me to sleep a little bit better. I might be wrong. You know, if they did a sleep study, if everybody had a sleep study, and I'm sure they've probably done that. Those who think they sleep good with the TVs on, some of them probably will, but a lot of them will probably find that they sleep better with the TV off. Sometimes it's just something about comfort for me. I like to hear it's on, but it's low. I have it on low. It's not real bright. And sometimes it is bright. Sometimes it's just however it is. But I prefer to have it on instead of off. Yep, I prefer to have it on. I've heard some people, I was watching like Dr. Phil one day. And this lady was like, she'd rather sleep with her TV on, to make people think that someone's home. And he said, well, if your TV's on, you're not really going to hear. There may be some noises that you missed that you need to hear. Something to that effect. And that made sense. That made a lot of sense. But I don't know, it's something just, I prefer to have it, on and not off. I prefer to have it on and not off. Sometimes my dreams be matching what's on TV. See, that's probably another reason you shouldn't sleep with your TV on. You have dreams that match what's on TV. So I don't know, Steph. Maybe we need to turn the TV off. Maybe we need to turn the TVs off. But I have always preferred to have it on. I have, even when like my kids are little, it wouldn't be on in their room, but I would leave it on in my room. And it's something about and it would be just loud enough. Like just loud enough. I think it makes me think about the effect of white noise. You know how some people can't sleep without white noise or brown noise or whatever noise they want to call it now? Like they've got to have just a slight bit of noise in the background, like a fan, a heater, or something, like something humming or something like that. Because it's all different types of noise. I think it's like white noise, brown noise, green noise, something like that. There are different types of noise now. And basically the colors represent different pitches and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of like what the TV does for me. It makes me feel like a little bit of white noise or something is in the background. Now again, I feel like I sleep better with it on. If they were to do a sleep study, a lot of us who feel like we sleep better with the TV on, we may, and then some of us maybe not. Because when you're in your REM sleep, that deep sleep, you never know what you're doing. That's why when people go to sleep on not Facebook, on YouTube, I'm like, boy, I hope they don't say anything they shouldn't say. Because some people talk in their sleep. And they don't even know it. Some people talk in their sleep and they don't know it. So if you're on YouTube or any social media platform and you're sleeping, boy, you need to go back and listen. Go back and listen to see what you said. Because when you talk in your sleep, there's no telling what you say. Hey, bro, how Chef find his wine? Hey, everyone. Chef says, hey, everyone. Lion's Pride here, stuck at work. Uh-oh. What's for dinner? Chef. Sandwiches. Sandwiches, Chef. Uh-oh, you're stuck at work? Chef. It's some stuff going on up there in Chicago right now, I see. And it doesn't make me too happy either. It does not make me too happy. You had a sandwich this morning? See, I didn't take anything out last night. And I left this morning and forgot to take something down. So it's going to be sandwiches for me. And I'm like, you know what? That's all right. Sandwiches are good. Nothing like a turkey, some romaine lettuce, tomato, cucumbers, a little cracked black pepper, a little sea salt. I might toast it a little bit. I don't really care for toasted sandwiches. I can make it just fine the way it is. Might use some wheat bread. Might use one slice of bread. A lot of times I'll use one slice of bread and just top it and then cut it. Too much stuff. I'm sad about it, but don't nobody. Okay, okay, yes. I think it's too much. It's too much. And what I think is we're in a time right now. This person is going to be there for a minute. Okay? I think we all should be trying to, just like our people did in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, have plans. Have plans in line. Because I think we're beyond the point of kind of like, okay, it's not going to happen here. It's not going to happen in this place. It's not going to happen in that place. It's not going to happen to these people. It's not going to happen to those people. They see, just like the beginning of time, anytime you see people aren't willing to come together, that's infiltration right there. That's an infiltration that they don't even have to do. The divide is already there. And I understand, like you said, Chef, I stay in my lane when it comes to that stuff. But I speak about it because what happens is, like everybody keeps saying whose fight it is, at the end of the day, as African American people, it's always our fight. It's always our fight. And we tried to tell them that before these elections. It's always our fight. Even when we don't want it to be our fight. Now, when I don't have to be involved, I'm not going to be involved. As long as it was them that going on, hey, let them go at it. But you know, to get it off of them, it eventually always trickles to us. Even when it went to the brown people, it was eventually going to trickle to us. So a lot of people that look like me are being detained for no reason. For no reason. It's always our fight. Exactly, Chef. It's always our fight, because guess what? It's always going to make its way, because we are the ones they hate the most anyway. Right? But our birthright cannot be questioned. Can't be questioned. But I told my family and friends, keep your birth certificates nearby. Keep your birth certificates nearby. Because you see what just happened in Chicago. And they're so blatant with it, they're so nasty with it. And who do you report it to? The things that they're saying to children, the things that they're doing to children, who do you report it to? Hi there, I don't know your name, I can't say your name, but hello, who do you report it to? And then you got the biggest criminal in the world inflicting all this harm. The biggest criminal in the world. You couldn't pay them to put a black man in office with 34 felony counts. 34 felony with one. You couldn't pay them to put him in office with one. If I'm not mistaken, that scoundrel went and voted for himself. Most people with certain felonies can't even vote. Can't even vote. So, you know, I thought about you. I thought about a lot of people that's in the Chicago area after hearing what's going on. And after hearing how they're taunting the people as they harass the people. They're harassing them by just being there anyway. And usually they're messing with innocent people. That's what I don't get. They're messing with innocent people. Now, I was told that the place that they so-called raided recently was supposed to be a place filled with gangs and gang activity. But the people who were most affected were children. With zip ties? With zip ties? So I'm telling you, people be worried about some of the wrong things. Need to start worrying about some of these things that aren't so right in this country. Because every fight boils down to our fight. It may not be our fight initially, but we know that in their minds, the end goal is usually to do something about getting some of us, like these prisons that they're making these agreements with in other countries. Which prisoners do you think they're sending over there? So, if people continue to think that voting doesn't matter, at this point, it probably doesn't anymore, because they've said it for so long, and the wrong side has heard our people say it for so long, so they're just stealing stuff. They're just stealing stuff. Stealing elections like nothing. Stealing elections is like it's as easy as drinking water. And it's ridiculous and sad. Stealing elections as if it's as easy as drinking water or pouring water out of a cup. Still in elections as if it's as easy as pouring water out of a cup. So everyone, be on your P's and Q's, okay? Whoever you are, wherever you're from, have your information that you need, all right? Have your documentation that you need, okay? And some of these other fights that we got going on amongst each other, it's time out for that, especially as far as racial boundaries, these racial fights. If you are of color, and I don't care if it's brown, black, or whatever color it is, you need to start paying attention. You need to start paying attention. Now, I ain't trying to be funny, but they're probably not messing with the Asian friends, okay? They're not gonna mess with them. We know why. We know why. But protect yourselves, protect your families as much as you can, all right? And in the meantime, pray that everything goes well. And just pray for a changing of the guards, a flipping of Congress. Because at this point, and that's a little bit away, for that to even happen, that's a little bit away. And between now and then, that scoundrel is doing everything he possibly can to prevent the flipping of the Congress. So pay attention to your surroundings, pay attention to your family and their surroundings, pay attention to the things. Keep on moving, keep doing what you're doing, especially if you're doing right. But just pay attention. Pay attention. Nobody thought. And it just makes me so mad is that how many people thought it was funny when he was running again. That was funny. He gonna get these people. He ain't gonna just get them people that he mad at. He gonna get people that he discriminates against. He feels like don't belong here, even though he wasn't here. His family wasn't here. He's gonna get people he feels like doesn't belong here, doesn't have the privilege to be here like they do. Right? And thank goodness that there are people who do look like him who aren't with that BS. Who are not with that BS. Okay, Chef, he ain't shit. Okay? I'm talking about, dude, nobody's never been jealous of you. We've always been black and proud. Always. If you ask us what we could be 1,000 years from now, black. Every time, black. 3,000 years from now, black. What you could be 4,000 years from now, black. But we want to be treated fairly and equally. And we're tired of other men whining and complaining. They've had it good. They've always had it good. And any of them who don't have it good, guess what? That's through no fault of any other racial group. Okay? That's no fault. Any man who looks like him, who has not been able to get his way in this world, in this country, that's not through us. That has nothing to do with DEI. Because guess what? In spite of affirmative action, in spite of DEI, our application still got thrown in the trash. Okay? So we work hard as hell to get in the positions that we have. Be it in your local careers, your local government, state government, national level. We work hard. And we always have to be on our P's and Q's extra hard. Right? Look at how they're on the Fed governor about her house. Just lying on the lady. Just lying on her to get it out of the position so that he can put a white male in there who supports him. And the problem with that is she's not even the person he was initially mad at. It was a white guy. But he was catching a little heat for messing with him. So he just went for the only black woman, only black person, only black woman, and started going after her. I'm like, wow. Wow. So it's always our fight. When they come on TV, and I don't care who's listening, they might like it, they might like it, I don't care. He comes on TV and his cabinet is on TV Tell me what you see. A bunch of people kissing his ignorant ass, uneducated, okay, uneducated, unqualified behind. And what has he done? He has a cabinet full of uneducated, unqualified people. And the ones who are educated are racist, misogynistic, and just downright evil. And he's even to the point of bragging about 2025 now. So for all these people who thought that was propaganda, when many of us were saying this is real, this is what he's going to do, when he stood there and lied like he lies about everything else and said that he had nothing to do with it, didn't know what it was about. He has hired everybody who has authored it, okay? And now he's even throwing it out there on Twitter bragging about it. So it's always our fight, because what he did in Chicago, to my knowledge, it wasn't no brown people either. It was black people, and it was their babies, kids, 5-year-olds, separating them. He good about trying to separate children from their nothing but modern day slavery. What did they do back in the day? Why did some of our great grandfathers have so many families across this nation? Because they were put up on the auction block, auctioned off, sold off from Alabama to Virginia. From Virginia, next thing you know, you'd probably be over in Louisiana. From Louisiana, somewhere in Texas. And so all you could do was start up another family, making babies. And just like a lot of that poor stuff that we eat is a result of all that stuff back then, a lot of the human behavior is a result of some of that stuff that happened back then. So he knows exactly what he's doing. It's no different than slavery when they separated males from their families and sent them to another plantation that they could never walk to. They were shipped to, or bus to, or wagon to, or however they did it. And all they could do was make another family. And every now and again, you might find some that would run into each other, who were old enough to know who their father was, their mother was, and they would run into each other. This is what he's doing today, modern day slavery. And it's not so much as slavery, but it's those same actions that they did during slavery. And he ain't ish. He ain't. And if nobody learns, they didn't learn from the first time. And if they don't learn from this time, I don't know what to say about people, especially our people. I don't know what to say about them. Because even though he can't run again, and you know he's not running the country, no president actually runs the country, but he is being run by the most racist bunch of nationalists ever, probably since the 50s and 60s. You know? And a lot of these people are allowing what they really felt, what they had suppressed for so long. People who don't look like us, some of them had suppressed those feelings, and they had suppressed them well. And if you had a conversation with them, they know not to say some of the things that they are feeling like outright liberated to say today. Outright liberated to say today. So those feelings that were suppressed have come back up. They never went away, they were just suppressed. And they knew what to say. Only a few of them would get out of character sometimes. They're cheering it on, they're rooting it on, and it's predominantly white males. So they might get mad about that statement, but it is what it is. And I said predominantly, not totally, because there are some white females as well. And then there are some black males and females who voted against their own best interest as well. There are some brown people. I know a lot of them wishing they could take that vote back. There are some Caucasian farmers, some other Caucasian people who are wishing they could take that vote back. I watched a documentary with one in California, not a farmer. His business has been almost decimated because all he had working was Latino people. Okay? Hispanics. ICE has come through there and just, his business has taken a hit. But his ego and his pride was so heavy that even though he said that it's hurting him, it's hurting his pocket, it's hurting his bottom line, when asked if he regretted his vote, Either he was too evil to regret it, and so he truly doesn't, or his pride just got in the way. His pride got in the way. So that's crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy. So guys, it is getting darker earlier, or it's getting dark earlier, so it's staying dark longer, right? So be safe. It is October 6th. We are officially well into fall now. Be safe. Be wise. Stay prepared. All right? I'm not one, again, I told y'all last week, I'm not one for a lot of canned goods. But in this day and time, if you have a pantry full of canned goods, check the expiration dates. If they are about to expire soon, take those canned goods to your local pantry or Red Cross, somebody, so that they can give those for canned goods to the people for the holidays, okay? If they're about to expire like in January, and just get you some more. I know it's easier said than done to say get you some more. But if you can at all afford to, get the necessities, okay? Get you some more and share what you can. Because a lot of times we end up letting that stuff expire. Because like you said, if you're like me and you don't really eat a lot of canned goods, I kind of just buy them to have them for just in case, or like if I cook, say for instance, I cook some greens, cornbread, baked chicken, what else? Green cornbread, baked chicken, and I don't have another veggie. And I only have one, the greens. I at least want one more. So I might run in there and get a can of corn, cream corn, regular corn, to kind of give your plate some color too, right? You got to make sure you give yourself some color. Make sure that there's color on your plate. So just to kind of get some green, yellow. So I buy canned goods for those times when I'm trying to find something, don't have any fresh broccoli, don't have any greens. Well, maybe I have some no salt green beans, something like that, right? Maybe I have some of those. Got some sweet potatoes, right? Got some greens. Go to your local farmer's market and get you some squash. If you don't like squash, again, get some canned corn, right? Or some frozen corn. If you have a deep freezer, stock up. Stock up. Because it's in the hands of God. It's in the hands of the Lord. He's going to get us through it. Sometimes things get rough, and so you have to do what you can to help yourself get through it as well. All right? So if you have some canned goods that are about to expire, maybe the first of the year, go ahead and either use them. And again, if you're like me, you really don't use them, but you have them kind of like for an emergency, give them to a local food bank. All right? And let them hand them out to people who need them for the holidays. You have some boxed foods, some type of boxed food, and it's about to expire in like January or so, and just replenish your sources, replenish your source, just replenish your cabinet, replenish your pantry, okay? Get you something else that won't expire for another 2 or 3 years, right? And just restock and use it, what you have now, or give it to someone who needs it. Even if you don't want to take it to your food pantry, ask some family members and friends, do they need it, right? Because a lot of times when you have those canned goods and things like that, that can stay in the cabinet for years, and then you check the dates and they've expired or it's close to expiring, you throw them away. So just check your cabinets. If they're close to expiring, take them to a food bank. Take them to the American Red Cross. Take them to somebody. Your clothes, your blankets. You got any old blankets? Wash them. Donate them to the Salvation Army. Donate them to whatever organization it is in your community that takes clothing for people. Now, sometimes they will sell those things once they take them from you, and I really don't like that. But if they're selling them to make a profit to help those in need, that's cool. I'm okay with that. So just do your research. Just like I tell you guys when you're exercising, do your research. And when you research, make sure that your source is reputable, credible. All right? And as always, read my description. Over here in Lions Pride, we do not professionally, medically, or clinically assess, diagnose, treat, evaluate, or prescribe. We just drop nuggets over here. We tell you about things that work for us. The chat will tell you about some things that work for them. And you know, you take those things and you consider those things and you check out your own resources about the nuggets that we drop. And you talk with your healthcare team, your primary healthcare provider. Be it your doctor, your nurse practitioner, your physician's assistant, your specialty doctor, your dietitian, your nutritionist, okay? Your occupational therapist, your physical therapist, whoever it is. You check with them. Whenever you see something that we talk about over here in this chat, you always check with your healthcare team, right? Remember, I said it's like that's your football team, right? Your doctor is your coach. You are the quarterback, right? And so when the rest of the team is kind of like not aligned and not in touch with what's going on, you have to be the one to make sure that the lines of communication are open between your team members and also between you and each team member. Most importantly, between you and your doctor, you and your nurse practitioner, you and your nurse, you and your physician's assistant, whoever it is. Make sure that the lines of communication are open between them as well, right? They form a circle around you. I always say that circle is an atom, it is a cell, and you are the nucleus. You are the headquarters, the most important part of that particular team. We all have a team. Some of us have just one team member. Some of us have 10, 11, 12. Some of us have 3 or 4. However many you have in your team, make sure that the lines of communication are open, okay? All right? Just like the football team, remember? Everybody needs to know if the next play is going to be an RPO, right? Everybody needs to know what we're going to do to get the defense on their heels, right? To keep them off of us, right? You have to be on the offense. Be on the offense, right? When you practice on those trick plays, right? Sometimes you got to go in your bag of tricks and pull out some things that'll work for you that you didn't even think would work. But if you focus on it, practice on it, they'll work. Focus and practice, get it together, and those things will work. Those things will work. Hello. Focus on your team. You are your biggest advocate though, right? And if you're good, remember that SELF, right? Self. It's okay to be selfish sometimes. You got to be selfish and take care of you in order to continue to take care of your family and friends, right? Those most important to you, your kids, your spouse, your parents, right? Your siblings, your friends, those of you you've known for half your life. Those you may have just met last year, but they're an important part of your life. So in order to continue to take care of all those people who are important to you, you have to be selfish sometimes and take care of yourself, right? So that means being selfish. Selfish doesn't always have to be a bad thing. Remember to practice self-motivation, self-love, most importantly, self-love. Self-motivation. Motivate your damn self, okay? That's the saying over here. Motivate your damn self. All right? Self-esteem. Work on your self-esteem, your self-respect, self-control. Self-evaluate. Sometimes you have to do self-evaluations, okay? Recognize. Sometimes, listen, give yourself a pat on the back. If you don't, who will? Don't get caught up in other people giving you pats on the back. But just know that as long as you are making you proud, that's the biggest pat that you need, all right? And start reaching for other people's goals. Set your own goals, right? Because you can find yourself trying to imitate and duplicate imitate somebody, but you can't duplicate and you can't really replicate, right? You'll find yourself attempting to and trying to. You'll find yourself imitating, which is a form of flattery, I guess, to a degree for some, but you'll never be able to replicate or duplicate. So stop chasing other people's goals. Chase your own goals and give yourself some self-acknowledgement. Remember, self-acknowledgement. Practice self-discipline. Okay? Work on your self-esteem. And let's not forget those important R words. Get you some rest each and every day if you can. I know sometimes, you get busy and the time constraints don't allow. Next thing you know, it's like you see yourself getting up today, and next thing you know, it's time to go to bed. You haven't had time to do some of the things you wanted to kind of just treat yourself, right? But try to find 15 minutes out of each day, at least 15 minutes to treat yourself, to just kind of work on yourself. Take some deep breaths in and out. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. And you can start stretching before you get out of bed, okay? We often go through it from head to toe. Hold that head down, okay? Support both sides of your head with your hands. Just hold that head down and count to 8. Hold it to the right side and count to 8, supporting with both hands. Hold it to the left side and count to 8, supporting with both hands. Supporting with both hands. Do head circles, supporting with both hands. That will make you feel so much better. Just those 4 or 5 movements will make you feel so much better. Then you want to work your way on down to your shoulders and do shoulder raises. Shrugs, up and down. Shoulder shrugs, up and down. Right there as you lie in bed, up and down, up and down. Take that right arm and bring it across your chest and apply a little bit of pressure on that shoulder, not too much. Don't cause any discomfort, just kind of hold. And then you do the opposite arm, bring that left arm across the chest and just kind of hold. All right? Then you extend that left arm out in front of you as you're lying right there in bed, right? Out in front of you. Take your right hand and hold that left hand and you get a good stretch in that bicep and those forearms, right? Then you want to flip it over and do your right hand. Stretch it out in front of you, hold it with your left hand and get a nice stretch in those biceps and forearms. We don't want to look like Popeye the Sailor Man, so we want to work from the shoulder all the way down to the wrist, okay? All right? Shoulders all the way down to the wrist. Helping those triceps, those biceps, those forearms, those shoulders, the wrist, all the way down to your hand. Do you some hand grabs, okay? All right, we've pretty much done the upper body, right? You want to hold that stomach in for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, release. Pull that stomach into the bed. 1, 2, 3, 4, release. Into the bed. 1, 2, 3, 4, release. All right? Then you can do this either one leg at a time or both legs. Pull them up to your chest. Okay, getting a nice stretch in your lower back. You're lying right there in bed, getting a nice stretch in your lower back. If you're more comfortable doing one leg at a time, place both of them up in an arch on your bed. Pull that right leg into your chest and hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Put it down, left leg, and hold to your chest. 2, 3, 4, and down. If you're comfortable, both legs, pull them into your chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, and down. Stretch those legs out. You want to point with your right toe, point and flex, and just hold that stretch as you lie there in bed. And you want to do the left leg and do the same thing. Point and flex and hold that stretch just lying right there in bed. Okay? And when you're done, you want to do those circles, 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 circles. And get up. How long did that take? Was that like maybe 3 minutes? Maybe? So you can get started before you get out of bed, okay? Y'all heard it here first, okay? I know we be in these same neighborhoods over here, but you're going to hear this again. I know we have to be petty, okay? Okay? So on that note, guys, don't let people bother you, whether you're at home, at work, at school, at some type of event, at the grocery store, at Walmart, okay? Don't let people bother you. It's easier said than done. And sometimes you're gonna have to let people know. You're going to have to let people know, okay? You're going to have to check them. But just don't let them get your stress up, okay? Right? Don't let them get your cortisol levels up. Cortisol is an important hormone, and everyone needs it. But we need it to stay in check, okay? We need it to stay in check. We don't need it to go too high, okay? We want to exercise. We want to think positive. We want to meditate. We want to take those breaths in and out, in and out. Okay, in and out. Release those endorphins, those feel good hormones. In and out, in and out. Release those feel good hormones, okay? All right? And be careful with your dopamine, okay? All right? Dopamine makes you feel good, but you don't want to indulge in things like overeating, okay? Overeating and things like that. Use it in a positive way, okay? So breathe in, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. YouTube, if you hear that music, if you hear that beat, I hope that I'm talking over it, but if you hear it, that is not my music. I do not own the rights to it. I'm just outside, and we know how it is outside, all right? So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, all right? Those are those natural, feel-good hormones, those endorphins that you get when you exercise. We do it for what? Not just physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Because what? It's all about the heart, mind, body, and soul. All right? All right? So again, don't let people bother you. Don't let people stress you out. And if you find yourself in a misery lounge, that lounge could be your home. Go to another place. Okay? If your spouse is getting on your nerves, if somebody, your kids, your nephews, your nieces, your siblings, you ain't got to put them out. Just go to another room. Go do something else. Just get away from them. I know the first thing y'all gonna say, that's my house. It is. But family is family, okay? Okay? So you don't have to put them out. Just put them out of your room, right? All right? Remove yourself from that space. Same way with social media, the apps. You don't have to put up with that on your platform. YouTube allows us this platform, and I appreciate you, YouTube, for allowing us that. For those, whether you're monetized or not. Some people aren't on here to try and get monetized because they know they're not going to blow up and have millions and millions of subscribers. They're on here to network or to have fun or just for a release. But of course, the platform is used for things it wasn't intended to be used for, but use it for what you would like to use it for as much as you can, right? And if you find someone they come into your platform, they come into your space, and they're cool at first, and then they start to unzip those sheep's clothing and the wolves come out, tell them they gotta go. Tell them they gotta go. If you're on their platform and all of a sudden they start to unzip their sheep's clothing and the wolves come out, grab your grip and go. You leave. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Right? It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. You don't live with them, they don't live with you. They don't pay your bills, they don't meet your needs, they don't meet your wants. Okay? All right? And if they feel some type of way about it, that's just something going on with their ego. Their ego. So I wish you guys peace, positivity, and prosperity, as always. And as always, because without peace, there is chaos. See, right here in the United States, right now, we're at a chaotic state, right? Without positivity, there's negativity. Wherever chaos and negativity roam, wherever they live, wherever they play and have fun, if you stay around that too long, you will fail to prosper to your fullest potential. I don't care if it's 1,000 people and it's you. Like they like to say, well, if it's 1,000 people and it's you, it's got to be you. Not in this day and time, in this world. If it's 1,000 people and it's you, you need to get away from those 1,000 people. Because see, a lot of times the masses like to follow. So you might be in 1,000, that's a mass that's following the BS. Right? So you gotta move. You gotta move. Like they say, oh, she's been married 5 times, it has to be her. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe each and every time, or maybe 4 of those times it was the spouse. Or him, he's been married 5 times, it's the spouse. Maybe 4 of those times it was the spouse. The one thing you can say is maybe they weren't good at picking those spouses. But you can't say that it was them that caused trouble within the relationship. Right? So if it's 1,000 people, it can be those 1,000 people and not you. Because see, you are unique. And a lot of people don't pride themselves on being unique anymore. They lack creativity, so they don't pride themselves on being unique. They want to follow the crowd. So you may have fallen into that crowd of 1,000 and figured out, nah, this ain't it. This ain't what it do for me. And that 1,000, they're gonna think is you. But now you're just not following that crowd. You're not in tune with that crowd. You're not in tune with that way of thinking. You're unique. You're unique. There's a difference about you, and there's too much likenesses in them that don't apply to you. So you gotta move, and you gotta keep moving. Just like we talk about in exercise and keep moving. Sometimes in life you gotta keep moving. Keep moving. Some people are very, very, very meant to be solo dolo. Everybody's goal is not the same. It's so funny when people are on here like, oh, they don't do this and they don't do it because they don't follow a crowd. And they don't allow you to dictate to them how they should feel. Never allow somebody to dictate to you how you should feel about anything. Because all they're doing is trying to, remember when I say, don't let somebody else's goal be your goal? Sometimes you'll have people who try to dictate to you how you should feel. And they never identify with what you're saying. Or even if they identify, it's still, well, why don't you this? Or why don't you that? No. That's what you would do. And you could give that advice. But when you're around that person, it's always, well, why didn't you this? And why didn't you that? You don't click. You got to keep moving. You got to keep moving. You can be cordial, but you got to keep moving. And there's nothing wrong with moving. The only person you moving will offend is the person who you should have moved away from. So if you move away and they're offended, you did the right thing. You did the right thing. If you move away and a person is offended, then you know that you've done the right thing. So that's it for today's Let's Walk and Talk in Lions Pride. If you catch the replay, again, I appreciate you. All right? Whether you gave me a thumbs up or whether you just stopped by for a few seconds or a few minutes or any portion of the live. Thank you, my bro, Chef Finest Wine. Thank you, Stefan. Thank you, Betty. Retirement Days, Comfort Foods, and more for coming in. I appreciate each and every one of you. All right? And again, y'all, it's the holidays. We're in the holiday season, okay? Some people may or may not include October, but it's the last quarter of the year. So, hey, it's the last quarter of the year. It is the last quarter of the year. Halloween is, October 31st. After that, it's Thanksgiving, okay? You got Christmas, and you got New Year's. And New Year starts off the new year. It does just what it says. New Year starts off the new year. So, in my opinion, we are officially in the holiday season. It is the last quarter of the year. October was the fiscal year for many people, right? The government, right? And many other businesses, many state businesses, right? So thank you guys again for joining me. And if it's the Lord's will, we will be here tomorrow for another Let's Walk and Talk in Lions Pride original, okay? For a Talk to Me Tuesday, a Tasty Tuesday, a Tell Me About It Tuesday, whatever kind of Tuesday we want it to be. We're all about health and fitness. Your health is your wealth is what they say, but over here in Lions Pride, what do we say? Your health and fitness are your wealth. So thank you guys for being here. Bye, y'all.